Hi everyone, this is Northern Kyle and welcome to my map guide on Eichenwalde. To make this guide easy to follow, I will be breaking up the map into its three main sections, which are based on the objectives. Within each section I will do a walkthrough of the area to give you a feel for its size, features, and health pack locations. I will show you the distance to the objective from the spawn location for both defenders and attackers to help you understand who has the spawn advantage. Then I will talk about the notable high ground or choke points that you might want to control. And finally I will show you the main flanks for that given objective. Let's get started. Starting on the attack side of point A, we can take the path to the left, which does not have much use except for a bit of cover. We can take the center path and find our first large health pack inside the broken house, and following this path leads us to the main choke point. Or we can take the right path and find a second large health pack in the house and a small health pack inside the music shop. A flank also exists here that is covered later. Starting from the choke point, we can take the left path above the bridge or just past the bridge to find our second small health pack. Continuing along the left side will bring us to the third small health pack and access to the objective. Entering the building will reveal the fourth small health pack, and climbing the stairs will give us access to the balcony overlooking the point. From here, an additional pathway is revealed that briefly steps into point B, and it's the location of the fifth small health pack. Taking the center left path gives us quick access to the point and a small amount of cover. Taking the center path to the right also gives us quick access to the point and additional cover through the buildings. Finally, taking the path to the far right can be used as a minor flank route and extends to some high ground overlooking the point. Next, let's take a look at the travel time to get to the point for both sides. I'm using Reinhardt as my test subject and will be walking only. Keep in mind, it is to be expected that some heroes can perform these faster through the use of abilities. This test shows that the defenders are able to get to the point slightly faster. I expect the defenders would only fall back to here if the choke point was breached. If the defenders do defend from the objective, we might expect an equal battle between both sides. The first area of interest on this point is the choke point in the center. It is likely many defenses will hold here. Attackers from the main route need to come around a tight corner to approach this choke, which is very favorable to the defense. Organized attacks or use of the flanks shown in the next section should be used. On the objective, the balcony of the building can be used to give you good coverage of the point and incoming attackers. Using the crumbled building can also be used, but it is not as favorable because it does not give you full line of sight of incoming attackers on the main route. Now let's look at some of the more involved flanks for this point. The first can be found on the right side of the attacker's spawn. You can either travel alongside the building or over it if possible. The other side of this flank gives you access to many points of entry to the objective. For the other main flank for this point, you must travel over this broken building. This bypasses the choke point, but be careful because your movement abilities will likely be on cooldown after using this flank. Now let's look at point B, which I will start on the other side of the gate. The far path to the left gives you access to a staircase that leads to the first small health pack of this point and the high ground. Instead of taking the stairs up, you can instead take the stairs down to a flank route and the second small health pack. Or you can travel along the path of the payload on the main route. The center flank gives you access to a large health pack. Continuing through this flank allows you to gain access to the point from the broken wall, more on this flank later. Traveling higher in the building gives you access to the middle platforms and the high ground overlooking the entire area. Traveling straight through the building is the fastest way to walk directly to the point. And the path to the right shows the third small health pack and a minor flank route to the point. Let's take a look at the spawn distance to the end of the payload destination for this point. The attackers have a much longer walk path for this point, even when using the fastest walking route, so the defenders certainly have a spawn advantage. It is important to note, however, that once the payload is close to the end of this point, the attacking team will have increased access to the high ground, which may help them overcome this discrepancy. Let's take a look at some of the areas of interest on the high ground. Number 1 will be a favorable spot for a team to hold because of the amount of cover. You are able to use the room behind you, which contains a health pack. Also, the payload must travel directly in front of it through the narrow choke under the archway. Number 2 will not be a good spot to stand as an attacker or defender. It has only a small amount of cover and you will easily be taken care of if a team focuses on you. Also, the other high grounds overlook this area. Number 3 is the highest area of this point. I think this area might be great for the beginning of the point as a defender, but as soon as the attackers push, you will have to retreat back to number 1. Number 4 is located directly above the payload destination. They may be useful for temporary sniper locations, but that's it. Out of all the flanks throughout point B, one stands out. From the broken wall in the lower section of the tower, you have access to many different areas. Which way you go from here depends on what you want to accomplish and the state of the game. On the final point, you can enter through the left to see a large health pack, through the center with some heroes, or through the right, which will have a small health pack at the end. When inside, you can travel along the right hand side for a minor flank and large health pack. However, this flank does not get very far. You can go straight and occupy the old spawn point of the defenders, but this does not serve much purpose. You can travel along the main path to get to the destination of the payload at the throne. Or you can take a left and go through the only true flank route for this point. Because anyone can take this route and I am showing it here, I will not duplicate it by showing it at the end. Throughout this flank you will find several health packs, a few ways back to the main pathway, and some high ground overlooking the point. The spawn distance for this point heavily favors the defenders. This, coupled with the choke points and high grounds that the attackers need to deal with, will make it extremely hard to move the payload to the end. The best chance for success here is a team kill that does not stagger the enemies. Finally, let's look at some of the areas of interest for this point. First, we have the balcony to the right as you enter the keep. This area might be used by attackers to help pick off defenders if they have pushed forward. Next, I want to note that it is possible to stand on any of the chandeliers throughout the point, so keep an eye out for possible surprises from above. And finally, these high ground locations at the end are going to make it very difficult to push into the point. You need to be especially careful for the balcony highlighted on the right, because I think it's going to be a popular spot for Reaper or a similar hero to stand before they drop down with an ult. Thank you for watching, and I hope this guide helped you understand the map better. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe and check out my Twitch and Patreon page. Have a good day and frag on.